Da 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 da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Updates, I'm sure, are going on because tell you, every time I'm hitting a button on my laptop or on my computer, something is going haywire. But I trust that everything's okay. It's funny that I'm saying that because, when I was just coming in before I was going live and I know we have this word effort this week, and Friday, this is our last opportunity to talk about that powerful word that we picked on Monday, and trusting, that I'm getting something out there, something that's going to be of value to me, even if it's just in a remembrance of an experience, or even expressing that experience and somewheres down the road, like so many understandings that have come into my life, it finally just like right upside the head and you go, oh, that's what that was about. That's what it was meant to be. That's what I should have done, right? So we did have this word effort, and I wanted to kind of look at it in a different perspective, but I seem to keep coming back to that physical part of action, right? When it comes to that effort. If you're like me, and if you're drawn to this kind of content, you're probably pretty highly sensitive, empathic, right? You might be a little bit introvert, a little bit hang out on your own, do your own thing. You might be a little bit of distrusting of others or distrusting of the world. You could have been labeled one of many, many things, because this is one thing the world likes to do when it recognizes something unique and different. They like to give it a label, right? So I wanted to just kind of bring my own kind of take on, my little bit of movement in my life. It wasn't originally the intent, I wanted to be a YouTube superstar. Um, but, not recognizing and not taking into account that, sometimes we feel like we're 20 when we're 80 years old, right? Sometimes we feel like we're 80 years old when we're 20, and that's the truth. So looking at this word effort, I wanted to look at it right before my life. Why? I may lose the thought of why I wanted to do this word effort. I was coming in and I was saying, oh, how are we going to look at it today? And so, oh, right, it's my last chance to make an impression. It better be good. And I can feel it surfacing, right? And if you hang out with me, you know that usually when I come into my live, I have a pen in my hand, right? So I had a sip of my coffee. I picked up my pen. And I looked at my pen, and as usual, you guys know, I had myself a little giggle because my pen says, be kind. So I kind of laughed because right away it told me we were going to keep it light today. So flying or riding that wave that I have to ride now because, right, not like I had an idea how we were going to come about it, but I know how I'm not going to come about it, and that is something heavy that's going to carry us over for the weekend, and right? And sometimes talking on these heavy subjects, they draw us into those moments that we would prefer not to even give it 30 seconds of our time, right? But if we can do it, right, even just in recognizing that it's there, we can do so much good for ourselves. Okay, so getting back to the pen to remind me to keep it kind. So in looking at this word effort, I want to kind of get it across in a lesson that I received, and when I first woke up to some questions and my curiosity and some things being answered and some of what and it was crazy town. Believe me, it was crazy town. But as much as I ground in this and grateful for this job that puts the roof over my head, right? That I have that job to ground in to keep me stable and reminding myself that I'm human, right? I had content and I had thought leadership and I had mentorship out there that I also grounded in, that I have to give credit to because, right, all these ingredients add into that recipe of Cindy that allows me to be here right now having some of these conversations and you know be kind, right? These are lessons that I had to learn along the way, but not all of them just like pop into my head and hey, I got this. I actually had to delve into the lessons, and sometimes it is a slow process. Sometimes these lessons aren't right. I'm still taking them and I'm still right looking at them in a different perspective, playing with them in a different perspective, and every once in a while there's a little click, right? And you can move on and you can smile and you can feel a little bit better. But when we talk about this word effort, you have to appreciate that effort, even if there is no click, because there's lots of people not even trying to get to that point, not even recognizing that there's an opportunity or a potential that, right, that there could be a little bit of movement for themselves. That effort, right? That being proud of the effort, that was a huge lesson for me because being somebody who had pretty much to zero self-worth, right? All my self-worth came from what was going on the outside, not what was going on the inside. I was kind of like a ping pong ball, just kind of bouncing from, right? Whatever energy to whatever energy was needed to be dispersed in the moment. And that's the truth. And that's the truth for lots of us, right? And you're going to have to delve into those curiosities if that kind of hit you in your own manner, because for each of us, we have to discover these things for ourselves and we have to figure out, right, what's important and what's not important, what is going to set you as the example and what is also going to set you in the example and what you don't take action on, right? What you don't put that effort in. And so we don't know, right, where we're going, what we're doing, where we're going to end up in the end, right? But the idea is to make that movement anyway by just flowing with that curiosity, right? Flowing with what catches your attention or that beautiful landscape or that beautiful thing somebody said, right? In that humanness of us, that humanness in us that makes being bored fun, right? Look at it that way. Create that way and see what comes into your life because of the experience that you're creating for all parts of you. And that's what I try to do in my life. And whether I do a good job, right? Some people might say, oh, she's on it. Some people would say, what? And somebody would say, oh, that's a cute human, right? Right? But to each their own. This is the best human being that I could create for myself. And I want to enjoy the views. I want to enjoy the experience. And it may sound quirky because it's a saying in those kind of networks that I roll in, right? To enjoy the journey, enjoy the views, but it is so important, right? You have to be able to enjoy the time that you're moving in, because you're moving. You can't hold on to the past, and too many of us hold on to the past. And so, you know, being proud of that effort, being proud of it, no matter where it gets you, right? Being that kind heart, right? Just understanding that, and you'll recognize it immediately because, right, it's contagious. In this job that I have, that I ground in, that puts the roof over my head, it's the evidence for myself of the magic that, and the light and whatever you want to call it, that I can put out to the world, because people actually seek me out for a little bit. It doesn't matter. And my job is changing within the company too. And it's a little bit harder to find me, right? But I'm being found, and we're still having those experiences. And I know those experiences are coming because I recognize and I'm putting the effort in, because sometimes, right, we're not feeling like we're kind, right? We're not feeling like we're happy or enthusiastic, right? But in rolling in it, in moving in it, it's not pretending to be it, right? It's actually playing with it. It's actually doing it, that you get to see the evidence. And when you see the evidence, well, it's the evidence, isn't it? Right? And then you just carry on because, well, who wants to go backwards, right? Who wants to go backwards? And that little reminder just before I came live today, just to keep it light. And we should keep these things light. This is why I'm a big believer in baby steps. We don't want to stall anybody out. We don't want to, right, scare anybody from working towards those things that they dream for themselves, or they desire, or they have a curiosity about. Each one of us has the right to move towards that. But, right, into the extent of how fast and how easily we can do that, well, it all depends on the lessons and the tools and the experiences and the adventures and the conversations we picked up along the way. Okay, you guys, that's my good cheer. I'll be back on Monday if you want to come and hang out with us on Sunday night on Chatters Live. I have a great crew over there. Andrew here is, hello, Andrew. Andrew here is one of my main moderators. They chat more than I do. It's built on kindness, that live show. Every Sunday we show up and we hang out together, and it is show and tell. It is show and tell this week. And yeah, I picked up some cool things, some for my trip coming up, some just for me, some just because it makes me smile. And that's okay too. I am putting in the effort. I am putting in the effort, but I'm enjoying the views at the same time. Everybody, have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you, Andrew.